Alright, so here's me doing heroic Sarkareth the other day. I'll try to like point things out as they go. Right now we're getting ready to pull the boss.
Bowman coming.
Um, I'm playing a ranged
Bowman
DPS
coming.
character, and in this fight, in the first phase, he casts a spell called Glittering Surge. Um, it does just a lot of raid damage. The whole raid, everybody's taking damage, and you can look at the frames over here to see like people's health going up and down and things like that. So the healers here, they have to stay with the ranged characters and make sure that everybody gets healed. Typically in a raid like this, you'll have anywhere from 3 to 5 healers. So a couple of healers will focus on the melee pack. A couple of healers will focus on the range group. But you have to split the raid between melee and ranged because these bombs on the ground, they're going to follow the ranged characters, and anybody who is ranged has to move kind of in sync to rotate around the arena and drop these puddles that do a bunch of damage. But it opens up like straight away. Healers are getting slammed. Okay, then he's going to cast this ability called Oppressing Howl here.
Knocking back.
It's going to knock everybody back. And then you'll see right here, I got a little debuff. This debuff is big scary. Dang, gotta be insane. Yeah, for sure. Um, so you get this little debuff, right? And there's 2 ways that you can clear the debuff. He's gonna either cast a flame breath ability or he's gonna cast a disintegrate beam. The disintegrate beams focus on 2 players, and there's like an arrow coming from the boss, right? It's gonna shoot a disintegrate beam straight out in infinitely in that direction. So you as a player, you have to take damage from that. Yet again, the healers have to be on point because you have to take damage. Everybody has to take damage from that. The second way to clear it is with the breath, and the breath attack actually comes out in a cone in like 3 pulses, and it's really hard to only take 1 pulse of damage from it. So ideally you want to clear it with the disintegrate beam, but you can clear it with the breath if you need to. Pretty much all we're trying to do in this phase is clear our debuffs and like not get hit with bombs. Yeah, and you see there's all these little swirlies that need to be dodged and stuff.
Target you.
Oh, see, I just got targeted with disintegrate, so my debuff is about to be cleared. It got cleared there,
Bowman coming.
and anyone who got hit by that too, their debuff would be cleared. Because whenever he goes into phase 2, you'd be stunned,
Breath
uh,
incoming.
and you're probably gonna die. You're probably gonna die if you get stunned into phase 2. But you can see the healers, these big rings. This is actually a restoration druid's healing circle thing. And then up there,
Bowman
you can
coming.
kind of vaguely see a
Breath
priest's
incoming.
healing circle. Oh, there's a druid's healing circle too. So they're healing both of the packs. And these bombs, they do what's called drop-off damage. So from the center, they do more damage the closer to the center you are. So you have to walk out of range of it. That's really hard for range characters because a lot of the times you have hard casts that you're trying to get off. Unless you have some instant cast abilities. Typically, when you get hit with a mechanic like that, is when you want to start moving. Uh, and when you want to start using those instant cast abilities. So you see 2 more people got disintegrate. They're pointing their arrows. We're avoiding those. Bombs start dropping. We start moving. I was trying to rotate the camera at the video. And you see, it puts down all these
AoE incoming.
puddles and stuff. Oh, but now we're about to go into phase 2. Alright. So he's casting Glittering Surge again. Anybody who did not clear their debuff, this is when they get stunned. Alright. Fortunately, everybody cleared their debuff in this one. A lot of people know about clearing the debuff now, so it's not so bad. But anyway, he goes over to this side and he starts pushing the whole raid back, and you get these stacks of oblivion. Okay, it's gonna look like this little icon over here. When you go up to 10 stacks, not only are you taking damage over time from those stacks, but when you build enough stacks, you're going to go into what's called the down phase. Typically, a down phase in a fight is when you're taken away from the primary group and you do something else. So here, I'm picking up these little balls. They're giving me increased move speed and haste for, 30 seconds every time I pick one, and it stacks up. So your goal is to get 10 stacks so you can come out and you can do a bunch of damage, and then step in these puddles. Step in 3 puddles, and then you're brought out of the down phase. Then you interrupt the boss, because that end existence ability he was casting, that kills the raid. It just kills the raid. Alright. So now we're going into phase 2, and he's going to do a couple of things. Right here, he uses breath ability. So he picks a spot that he's gonna go. He uses his breath ability, and he leaves this pack of mobs behind. These mobs, they constantly heal themselves, and if they get close to the boss, they do raid damage. They cast this ability that does like a bunch of damage to the whole raid. So you have to actively interrupt and like knock up these enemies so they can't do that, basically. So you'll see he drops down. Our tank is going to pick up the ads from over there. Alright, and then these pools are going to drop, okay? These pools, they give you stacks of that Oblivion debuff from earlier, right? To get you into the down phase. That leads us into the next mechanic, which is Void Bombs. You can see one dropped right here, and this guy picked up the bomb. If these bombs are left out, they do massive raid damage, like kill you raid damage. If the bomb detonates, gets all the way to the ground while it's in the up phase, it kills the raid, basically. So what this person has to do, they've just picked up this bomb, right? The bomb timeout is 30 seconds. Or no, wait, not 30 seconds. Bomb timeout is 20 seconds. You can only be in the down phase for 25 seconds before you die. So you have to pick up a bomb, you have to wait for a couple of seconds, and then you go stand in this puddle and you get your stacks of Oblivion. So you take the damage on purpose, you get the stacks on purpose, you take the bomb into the down phase and let it blow up, and then come back up. So the raid doesn't die. So that's going here. And you see me, I tried to pick up that bomb because in this fight, I'm doing less damage than the higher damage dealers, so it's important that they keep doing damage. It's not like I'm not doing damage, I'm just doing less damage because my gear isn't as good. So I volunteered to be a bomb picker-upper. Oh, but you can see there, that was that thing I was telling you about. Let's see if we can see the guy. Breath. Let's see. Aggro and me. Who has it? Who has the bomb? Okay, well, another one will come up. But that guy out there with the big purple ring, that was actually a tank. The tanks, they're actually rotating aggro on this boss to make sure that they don't get too many stacks of debuffs. That's going to kill them if they get too many stacks. But they also get this debuff with that big purple ring that does a lot of damage when it detonates. So you have to do a tank swap. There's 2 tanks. You do a tank swap. That guy has to bring that ring out, let it blow up, and then come back in. Which is neat. And then you see this guy right here. This is the spooky bit, alright? When they have this big glowy beam, that's infinite duress. Alright? That's the thing that the healer has to dispel, and that's gonna knock the whole raid. Most people screw this up. And it's one of the hardest parts of the fight, just because, like, healer see debuff, healer dispel debuff, right? But they'll be, like, in the middle of the group, and everybody gets thrown off the platform. So you'll see here momentarily, they're gonna clear this debuff, and you'll see everybody get knocked away from this player. And this player just gets knocked, like, slightly up in the air, and they're fine. Alright, so they're a pretty good distance away. Some bombs are incoming. We're getting in position for the infinite duress. People are moving a little bit. Right, doing the phase transition, and we're going to actually use that infinite duress to get knocked to the other side because it's pushing us.
Watch your step.
Alright. So this guy's got ID again. He's going to start putting these huge pools out. And those pools or that big pool does a bunch of damage, but it's also going to cause these meteorites to fall down. And this part of the fight also has these swirly start. So these swirlies are the new source of Oblivion stacks to bring the bombs into the down phase. We go ahead, we start, you know, trying to kill the ads, keep them separated, knock them up, this and that. I have 2 stacks of Oblivion here. That's not the end of the world. But you see this guy over here, out, like, in Brazil, he has a smash debuff on him. That's what's called in a raid a soak, where technically everybody is supposed to get inside that thing and take damage from it. Because it distributes the damage evenly among everybody instead of it just, like, killing one person. But the thing in this fight, if you try to do the soak, it does too much damage with everything else, so oftentimes people just go suicide, and they stand next to one of these pillars to crush the pillar with this smash ability. So you see that guy just died there and smashed the pillar for us. Those pillars are really, really important because here in just a minute, this guy is going to go off the screen. Here it is, the wind phase. You have to stand inside of these trails so you don't take stacking raid damage. So you have to have pillars on the right side of the platform while you're still doing damage and everything. So some void bombs are going to start dropping here in just a second. We have another infinite duress, so this guy is moving into position.
Watch your step.
A little bit slow. He was probably waiting for the ring to come out so he'd know where, like, we'd all go. But we strategically put those pillars there so that we'll have good trails for when the next wind phase comes. Infinite duress was dispelled, and now we go back to damaging the boss. We go in, we interrupt the guys. We're going to use some personal cooldowns right now because we're all standing in some AoE. I just got the bomb, so I'm going to pick up 2 swirlies. Okay, I'm moving to pick up 2 swirlies. I get into the down phase. And you'll see that bomb slowly go down and blow up. Alright, it blew up, so now I'm trying to get out of the down phase. I don't pick up all my stacks just so I can get out and help DPS with the wind, because he's almost dead. Alright, and now we're all just stacked in AoE. We've got, you know, anti-magic shells, we got pain suppression, we got AoE heals, everything going. So now our goal, because now we're at like 10%, is just like, go. Like, kill it. Somebody's going to get that big soak debuff, and they're just going to go kill themselves somewhere. ID just came out, it got dispelled, pushes closer to the boss, which is what needs to happen, because right now we're just trying to finish the fight. We DPS, we DPS, DPS. Tunneling in. But we're still paying attention to the mechanics, even though we're like tunneled in. You still have to look at the mechanics, because that's how people wipe. You get those 2% wipes, you like stop looking at the mechanics. And we're just interrupting these mobs. We're not even doing damage to them. Boom, because he's dead. Nice. That's a modern raid. A modern heroic raid. Lots of moving parts, lots of cool stuff. This is the last boss in the raid, so of course it's gonna be like one of the harder things to do. Um, and this is out of the expansion. This is probably the hardest final boss out of the expansion, really. Arguably, I think that having to do seeds on the Farak fight is a little harder, but like people seem to just struggle with this one so much. I don't know. I guess it's because like there's so much movement. Oh no, I didn't get shit for loot on this. What? I get shit for loot on this fight.